Abraham Lincoln, Honest Abe, the Rail Splitter, the Great Emancipator. We've all heard of this 6'4", 16th President of the United States, but today I'm going to go a little bit deeper into his life. Born February 12, 1809, in Hardin County, Kentucky. He was raised in a small farmhouse where he worked for most of his youth. He moved to Illinois whenever he was in his teens with his family, and from there he took a trip down the Mississippi and got his first look at a big city in New Orleans. During the Black Hawk War, he became a militia captain, and he saved the life of an innocent Native American who was going to be executed by his soldiers as a scout. After the Black Hawk War, he became a lawyer, and according to Britannica.com, an article written by Richard N. Current in 1999, he was one of the most successful lawyers in the state of Illinois at the time. After that, he was elected into the Illinois State Legislature, where he served for 2 years. After that, he served a term in Congress after marrying Mary Todd in 1842. Abraham Lincoln and Mary Todd had 4 kids. Unfortunately, 3 of them died before they could become adults. After a brief hiatus from politics, in 1860, he was elected as the President of the United States of America. Many states seceded because of this, because they knew of his strong stance against slavery and they didn't like it. And they formed their own Confederate States of America. Now, Abraham Lincoln wanted a peaceful reunion of the states with the Union, and was willing to bring them back. Unfortunately, they would not come, and he forced their hand by resupplying a fort in Charleston, South Carolina, called Fort Sumter. There, on April 12, 1861, the first shots of the Civil War were fired. Abraham Lincoln called 75,000 militiamen to go down and stop the rebellion and bring the states back. ANB.org says that on an article titled Lincoln Abraham, published in 1999, that he knew more than most of his generals in military strategy because he studied for a very long time. After the Battle of Antietam at January 1st, 1863, Abraham Lincoln issued the Emancipation Proclamation. The Emancipation Proclamation declared that all slaves of any states would now be free. On November 19th, after the Battle of Gettysburg, he gave one of his most famous speeches, the Gettysburg Address. After the Battle of Gettysburg, he promoted General Grant to be the commander of all the armies of the Union, to take some of the burden off of him. He didn't think he would be re-elected as president in 1864 because of all the war that was going on, but after a series of battles were won leading up to the election, he was re-elected in 1864. He wanted peace and malice towards none at the end of the war, and which he brought about in April of 1865. Unfortunately, a few days later, on April 15th, he was killed by a Confederate sympathizer named John Wilkes Booth. Now, Abraham Lincoln had a great legacy. He was one of the best presidents we've ever had, and he wanted equality and freedom for everybody. Unfortunately, because of this, he was murdered. But he still gave us a great legacy to live up to today. Thank you very much.